everybody, it's Anna. Welcome to our final card in this week's tarot story. So we opened the week with the Tuesday card with the Queen of Pentacles, and we're closing the week with another queen, the Queen of Wands reversed. So as I said on the Tuesday card, the Queen is the expansive principle of the court cards. She's also connected to the feminine element of spirituality, which is the element which is about reception and instinct and intuition, right? She's connected directly to intuition. So the idea here is this is the connection we have to the spiritual realm, which is funneling in energy and genius into our lives. Wands are connected to the element of fire and are about feeling empowered, excited, and invigorated. So this queen is very directly connected to that experience of intuition. I'm gonna turn her up right for a second. So you can see she's warm, she's bright. I think of this queen as being very like attractive. She's the social butterfly. She draws people to her because she's so on fire. She's so lit up, right? And people are desiring to be around that. They want to be around it. They also want to feel it kind of inspired in themselves, which is the gift of this queen. As she sort of funnels in this light and this energy, other people get in that flow themselves. So this is a center point of like beauty and power and joy and passion, right? And also there's this little kitty here, which is a little black cat, which reminds us that this queen is magical. She's a bit witchy in her nature, right? So there's something really lovely and visually impactful about this queen, which means we are being seen in the world. That's part of this queen, is she is not hiding her light under a bushel. She is in the world, being in power, being in passion, being in joy, right? This card came to us reversed. And that suggests to me that we're being invited to have an internal understanding of this Queen of Wands. And I think that really matches the challenge of this week's tarot story. This week's tarot story seems to be about helping the mind recognize where the real magic is, right? Recognizing where, that the real magic isn't in the future, these great ideas and plans. It's actually in the present moment where we are currently living, where we are currently loving, and where we are in the flow of our magical intuition. And the actions we take in the present moment might look small to the mind because the mind doesn't understand. That's the real magic in the world, right? So we're trying to help the mind recognize where it feels stuck. Yesterday's card was the Devil card, which is about feeling trapped, right? And being trapped in such a way that you don't realize you're trapped, right? And so the question yesterday was, oh, you suddenly realize you're in this devil's cave. You realize you can break yourself out. Are you willing to break free of this way of living? And usually whatever the devil's cave is connecting to, it's something that we've had for a long time, which means the mind has acclimated to the way we are living. It has agreed to the devil's cave without even realizing it was in it. And now the mind has a whole system of living in the darkness of the cave. And the question we had yesterday is, are you going to break free? Are you ready to find out what's possible when you leave this behind and try something else? And I think that's a question. And it seems like it'd be obvious. Of course you want to get out of the devil's cave, right? But it is a real challenge to the mind because the mind doesn't know what's going to happen. And we're asking the mind to have faith and to take action, sort of throw this old way of being aside in order to step into the unknown new, right? So to me, this card is a nice answer to that anxiety the mind may be having, which is, what if we get out of this cave and we flop, or there's a bear eats us, or whatever the mind's afraid of is going to happen, right? The mind's afraid something bad might happen to us. If we can help the mind feel the truth of this Queen of Wands, that actually the more vibrance she gets, if you get her out of the cave, right? She's just going to become more beautiful, more vibrant, more full of life. Like that's the actual result of freedom. Not getting in trouble, not getting hurt, but like being more yourself, which is a good thing to have. So it's actually showing the mind kind of the vision of what it's like when we are free. The freer we are, the more lit up, the more warmth, the more passion, the more love we spread into the world, which, the mind, at least theoretically, is going to agree that's probably better than living in a cave. You have to approach the mind with some logic, right? Like, isn't it better to have this Queen of Wands energy free in the world than to have her trapped in the cave? The mind's probably going to agree. So really, you're asking the mind to kind of tip itself in favor of taking the risk because the potential benefit of the risk is worth it. The risk is still there for the mind. The mind you can't argue to the mind that there's no risk. There is some risk, right? But the risk is relatively low. Usually you can show the mind, well, nothing really bad's going to happen to us if we get out of the cave. But also the benefit is so high, it's worth the risk. It's worth the leap of faith to get this queen free into the world. So that's really a nice conversation to have with the mind. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? What's the best thing that can happen? And if you've got that relationship with the mind kind of unrolling, you got this relationship moving, and you started with the Ace of Swords, which is what we had on Wednesday. It's like the mind's showing a willingness to try something new. That means the mind's getting flexible, sort of stretching out of its stuck place, and is willing to play along. So just see if you can convince the mind to take the risk. I'll see you next time for our next tarot story. Bye.